Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thank you. I am just wondering why my display name hasn't changed.
Have you clicked those three dots above your video?
Beautiful. Tech support.
Tech support, awesome.
And I can see and hear you. Do you want to put the painted?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thank you. I am just wondering sorry, why that's my my display live name
Okay.
stream hasn't changed.
Those three dots above your. Oh,
Okay. So the live stream's working. We are live on the website as well, just then.
yeah. I can. Let me see.
Beautiful. So I started letting people in from about 5:20.
Mhm.
It takes some of them a little while to realize they have to click like enable audio and stuff. So I let them in probably two at a time.
Yeah,
And similar to Jill, just confirmed checking sound and audio or
yeah,
sound and video.
cool.
Yeah,
I think I'm just gonna leave my background blurred.
yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
Sounds
cool.
good.
Thank
Um,
you, tech support.
yeah, text bot will be silent for the rest of the time. The only other thing was Jill mentioned, I don't know if she mentioned to you after her group, but we obviously say mobile phones off, but if you just remind them to have them handy for the QR code task.
Yeah, I do have a note of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely.
Cool. Thanks,
Okay,
Noah.
I'll leave you to it.
Okay,
Thanks, Ellie.
bye.
Bye.
Hey Ellie, how you going?
Good, thanks. And you?
Good, thank you. I'm just doing a quick mic check and video check for everyone before we get started. So it looks like you're all good. I'm going to pop you back in the waiting room just for now, and then we'll start at 5:30.
Beautiful, thank you.
Any chance you can rotate your screen?
Back around.
Yeah,
So better.
perfect. Thank you. Yeah, just so we can see it. Awesome. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Tristan, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Any chance you can pop your video on
Oh, yeah. Start video.
so I can see your face? That would be awesome.
That work?
Not yet. Something's happened. There we go. Perfect.
There it is.
Cool. So it looks like that's all working. Like I said earlier, I'll just pop you back in the waiting room for now, and then we'll start at 5:30.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no dramas.
Hi Nessa. Hi Remo. How you
Hello,
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. We're just doing a quick mic check, video check before we get started. So
Okay,
obviously you look good to go. So I'm just going to pop you back in the waiting room and then we'll get started at 5:30.
okay, thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Remo, can you hear me? Hello, Remo? I'm not getting any audio or visual on you at the moment. There we go. And audio? There
How's it
we
going?
are.
Can you
Awesome.
hear
How
me?
you going?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just doing the mic check, so all good. I'll just pop you back in the waiting room for now.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you. Hey, Lacey, how you going?
Good, thanks.
Good. Just checking the audio and visual. So it looks like you're all good to go. We'll just be a few more minutes. I'll pop you in the waiting room and then we'll get started.
Yep, cool, no worries.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Can you hear me there?
Yeah.
Hey, how you going?
Yeah, good. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. So you
Excellent.
probably heard we'll be getting started in a few minutes. I'll just pop you back in the waiting room for now.
No problem.
Won't be too much longer. Thank you. Hi everyone. Got everyone now. Got some feedback somewhere. Oh, good. I think we might have another few people joining, but we will get started because it is 5:30. If everyone could have their cameras on throughout, that would be really great. Really appreciate your time on a Thursday evening tonight. Yeah, really happy to speak to you all. My name's Hayley. I'm from Painted Dog Research. We're an independent market research company. Really looking forward to speaking with you. Just wondering who has participated in a focus group like this before? Anyone?
Yeah.
Few of us?
Yeah.
Awesome. So probably have a good idea of how these things run. We really just want to understand your views. So there's no right or wrong answers. You can be as honest as you like with me. In fact, we actually encourage the honesty, and nothing will be linked with you. So you have full confidentiality. We report on an aggregate basis, so nothing will be linked to your name. We will be audio and video recording just to make sure that I don't have to furiously take notes. So I'm just going to start that now. There we go. And just throughout, if we could just have one person talking at a time so we can hear you. We do have a lot to cover. So if I do move us on, it's nothing personal, just a time thing, and want to make sure you guys finish on time. And we really encourage as much participation as possible. So just to get started, we'll do a quick little icebreaker. So we'll say our name, where we live, and the last event that we attended. So I'll kick us off. My name's Hayley. I live in Scarborough in Perth. And the last event I attended was a fundraising melanoma march a few months ago now. Maybe we'll go to Ellie. You're on my top left, so we'll start with you.
I was hoping you wouldn't. My name's Ellie. I live in Australind, which is just sort of out of Bunbury. The last event I attended, I don't even know, maybe a show on my holiday in Bali last fortnight.
Oh, lucky you, out of the cold weather, hey?
Yeah.
Nissa, you're next on my screen.
Hey, I'm Nissa. I live in Busselton. Last event I attended was Mum's 70th, actually.
Nice. Lacey, I've got you up next. I think you're on mute.
Yeah. Last event I did, can I have run it? It would have been my kid's birthday on the weekend.
Yeah, that counts. Keith?
Yeah, Keith, from Bunbury, Millbridge. Last event I attended probably would have been Parkrun.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Remo?
I'm from Albany, and the last event I did, I was actually MC for MSWA Swim.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Tristan, what about you?
I live in Australind, and the last event I attended was a Scout fundraiser.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks everyone for sharing. So today we're focusing our discussion on companies that help and support the community through fundraising, charitable causes, community grants, and initiatives. So I'm going to share my screen for our first activity. And you should see a black screen there. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
awesome. Cool. So what we'll do is we want to do a brainstorm of all of the brands or companies that you know that support community initiatives and causes in WA. So just yell them out. We'll keep going until we've run out of ideas.
Lottery West.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
RAC.
Mhm.
I know a lot of the shires give grants and stuff.
South 32.
32. Mhm.
Bunnings have some community stuff.
Bunnings, yeah.
The banks, so Bendigo Bank and stuff like that.
Yeah, ANZ as well. I know do a lot.
Yeah.
Cube.
Cube. That's with a Q, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
What else?
Fortescue do a bit if you're talking mines.
Coles and Woolworths.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
ASICs.
Sorry,
ASICs.
ASICs.
I suppose it'd be down to actually, what's their sports shoe store, not Sports Power. The other one.
Foot Locker.
No, not Foot Locker.
Athlete's Foot.
Athlete's
Athlete's
Foot.
Foot.
There you go.
Athlete's Foot.
You could put St. John's Ambulance.
Yeah. Good Guys.
All of the op shops like Salvos, Vinnie's.
Telstra. Telstra.
Telstra. Mm-hmm.
HBF.
Mm-hmm.
We get a lot of support from the what's it called now? BCF
BCF, yeah.
and Anaconda. Yeah.
Any other companies that come to mind when we're thinking about brands that support
Optus.
Optus? Mm-hmm. Anything else? No, that's a pretty good list. Okay, so we'll be looking at some brands in particular. We'll go through the brands one by one, and what I'd just like you to do is to shout out whatever comes to mind, even if it might not feel like it makes sense. Any thoughts, feelings, whatever comes to mind when you see this brand. So starting off with Telethon, what are the first things that come to mind when you think of Telethon?
Children's Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, research. They do a lot of research in children's health.
Fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
Heartwarming.
Twiggy Forest.
Twiggy Forest.
The McDonald's house.
Mm-hmm.
What's the casino in Perth?
Crown.
Crown.
Okay. Anything else? Any other feelings that come to mind when we see or we think of Telethon?
Cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
So between local government and industry to see something like that happen.
I think respect. Telethon garners a lot of respect with everyone I know.
Mm-hmm. Respected in the community.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What about when we think of Anglicare?
Religion.
Mm-hmm.
Sensible budgeting.
Religious.
Sensible budgeting. Yeah. Sorry, that was
Yeah.
someone said something else.
Financial relief
Mm-hmm.
and support.
Do they have op shops?
No, I don't believe so.
Tristan, what do you think when you think of Anglicare?
Support, I guess, but I don't really know a great deal about Anglicare, to be honest.
Debt recovery.
Mm-hmm. Remo, what about you?
Yeah, I don't know a lot about them, to be honest myself.
No problem. Okay, we'll move on. What about Rio Tinto? What are our first thoughts, feelings,
Big
words?
money.
Sorry,
Wealth. Yeah.
Yeah, big money.
being funny. Okay.
Mining.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Bit of a big untouchable entity.
They should be paying more tax.
Anything else that comes to mind when we think about Rio?
Shares.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunity, I guess.
Opportunity, yep. What about Lottery West?
Money.
Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the grants.
Yeah. Community grants. Yeah.
I know they have a lot of Lottery West branded, like they'll call it Lottery West House, where it's like a community building.
Yeah.
Any feelings associated with this brand?
Hope. Hope.
Yeah, good. When you win.
Yeah, generous.
Mm. Gives back to the community, definitely.
Anything else for Lottery West that comes to mind? No? Okay, what about RAC?
WA based.
Mhm.
Reliable.
Insurance focused.
Mm. Oh, travel. They have parks and things like that. Parks and accommodation.
Best value.
Rescue chopper.
Loans, roadside assistance.
I had best value, but there was something else I think at the same time.
Oh, they got their rescue chopper for that.
Oh, yeah.
5% discount and retrovision.
And
I
the
didn't know
pump
that one.
stations.
Yeah.
Okay. What about MSWA?
The
Never
lottery
heard of it.
people.
Never
Are they
heard
the
of
people that
Research.
do the lottery that where you can win a house?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, they
first of all, multiple sclerosis, WA.
Cool.
Think of the big freeze and blue beanies.
yeah. Lots of events like the swim, the bike ride.
Aged care.
Any feelings when you think about MSWA?
Quality of
Support.
life.
Very generous.
Anything else we want to add here? No? Okay. So looking at all of these brands, where do we learn about these brands and what they do in the community? How do we know that they do things in the community?
Advertising.
Word of mouth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Events that they hold.
Sometimes
When
direct
you need
to
'em.
consumer information.
Social media.
Mm.
Internet
Billboards.
advertising. Yeah.
Sponsorship.
Are there any initiatives that we know that these companies sponsor or any specific events that they hold?
Yeah. Oh, well, I know for the MSWA they do the MSWA swim, and a bike ride as well.
Telethon's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's the obvious answer for telethon?
Telethon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lottery West, obviously with community grants, it's unlimited to its application. I mean, for myself,
Yeah.
I'm a cadet unit leader, and in the past I've been able to access $10,000 grants per year, essentially to purchase large items or equipment for my cadets. So
And are any of these other brands that we recognize that they support the community, anything specific?
RAC Arena.
Someone said before the RAC helicopter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. We will come back to this in a little while. So for the next little section, we want to talk specifically about Lottery West. So just first of all, we want to understand what you think Lottery West's purpose is.
Just to give back to community, isn't it? That's my views.
Anything else that we think That's
It's
part of their purpose,
it's not to make a profit.
not to make a profit.
No, I don't believe they are profit driven.
What does everyone else think about that?
And I
I'm
feel
not
like
sure.
it puts an emphasis of being part of the community base as well. So like it's putting everyone in together, just that little bit to make the difference.
Do we think that
Yeah,
they
they sort of
sorry? Go
they
ahead.
sort of give people an opportunity to feel like they're contributing in their own little way by participating in the lottery and knowing it's going to help community projects.
So I saw a advertisement on the side of a Lottery West kiosk today that said, by purchasing a lottery ticket here, you've helped to provide $110,000 to this particular bowling club, or whatever community group. So they personalize it, provide a story to the money.
How did you feel when you saw that?
Oh, indifferent. I didn't buy a lotto ticket. I just walked past. So yeah, I mean, it's good to know that the money is going somewhere to help the community.
Do we think that Lottery West achieved their purpose?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
They go beyond what a lot of other companies do.
And what do we think that Lottery West is most known for?
Lotto.
Yeah.
Lotto tickets.
Lotto tickets, yeah.
Everyone agrees with that one.
Yeah.
What about in the community? Is there anything specific that they're well known for?
Well, community grants. I mean,
I know they help out a lot of schools. I've seen that with my children. They help out sporting teams, especially. That's what I see.
Do we know how, in what ways Lottery West give these grants, or what type of grants that they give?
yeah. So for me, so that's an equipment grant, $10,000 possible per year, and it's just a matter of submission of minutes of meetings. You need to go through an actual application process. Need to provide an accountability report, etc. Yeah, so they've got to see that the money's being used effectively. So yeah, I think there's a pretty thorough vetting process, and as I said, great deal of accountability when it comes to accessing their funds. So
Do
So
most of the grants go to non-for-profits? I don't think they give grants to businesses, do they?
no.
Yeah.
So, Keith, you get funding for equipment for the cadets, is that right?
Yep. And
Yes.
Cadets WA being obviously a non-for-profit group, we're funded through Department of Communities, but yeah, source other money through fundraising and grants. So
Is anyone else part of an organisation that has accessed a grant or been given a grant by Lottery West in the past?
I've used to run a play group, and we got a grant to build a shed for our equipment and some toys for that, which is when we first started. Yeah.
Yep.
And
When I know that my son's sporting team at school received help with uniforms, and a million years ago when I was in primary school, Lottery West gave grants to buy the kind of big tents that you use on sports day. I don't know what they're called, like those huge things that
Gazebos.
all the kids take shelter in. Yeah.
Anyone else that's been part of an organisation that received a grant or anything like that?
I know I was talking with my neighbour the other day. She just lives next door and they were part of, well, it was the men's shed. They've just rebranded to Community Shed and they outgrew their space. So they applied for a Lottery West grant to create the new community shed. So they're doing that now because they've just had that approved.
Okay. And has anyone noticed Lottery West branding in organisations or events that have received grants? And seen any of the branding when you went to an event or something like that?
Yeah, I think I have, but don't really take much notice.
Do you remember which event it might have been or where it was?
No, not offhand.
Oh, good. Okay, so we have another little task. So I'll share my screen again. And this time it is a survey. So if you can just grab your phones and I can paste the link into the chat if that's easier. But there's just 2 questions and we want to understand if you know of the types of community support that Lottery West provides. So this list isn't, some of these things Lottery West doesn't provide, but there are things that Lottery West does provide. So just choosing the ones that you think or know that Lottery West provides. If anyone needs any help, let me know in accessing that.
My phone doesn't do QR codes.
Can you do it on the website with a link?
Maybe.
If you click on the link in the chat, then hopefully it should send you there and you can choose those options.
Yep, I've got it.
Yeah, awesome.
Where was the link?
I popped it in the chat. So for you, I think it's on the bottom panel. It's got those 2 little speech bubbles.
Oh, no.
You able to find it?
No, I can't see it in here.
Can't see it. Let me see if I can send it straight to you. There we go, Tristan. I think you should have received a chat from me just now.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Everyone else figured that out, got it working?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so we're just going to move on to the next kind of discussion. And when we think about how Lottery West supports the community, are there any of these emotions that resonate with you? Can everyone see that? Is that big enough? Even if there's not an emotion on there, if there's anything that comes to mind, feelings,
Yeah.
we spoke a little bit about hope before.
Yeah,
we'll make it a
empowered.
tiny bit bigger.
Tiny bit bigger. Oh, too much.
A little bit much.
Optimistic.
Yeah.
Optimistic,
I'd say empowered.
empowered,
Celebration.
celebration.
Generous.
Thoughtful,
Yeah.
proud. It's
Trusting.
Just making sure you get to see the whole wheel up tight, up close. Anything else that comes to mind when you think, any feelings or reactions when you think about the support for the community?
Engaged.
Why do you say engaged?
Why am I saying that?
Why? Why does it make you feel like that?
I feel more connected to them as an organisation because of what they do for the community.
Now, are we talking about any feelings that we have towards Lottery West, or
Any
how they
feelings
might
whatsoever.
generate?
Yeah, anything.
Because there's a lot of negative emotions, obviously, around gambling that, you know, people may put their hopes in lotteries, and, you know, that's their week-to-week addiction, if you would, is, yeah. So things like being impatient or frustrated, or you know, failure, or, you know, those things, being stuck, or, you know, bitter even.
Do you feel like that resonates with you, or you can understand that that's maybe how other people feel?
I can understand that some people may feel in that zone. Me, I don't have my hopes pinned on winning the lottery, so you know,
Right, thank you for sharing that. So now we're moving on to understand what sort of organisations you think Lottery West should support. So are there any community initiatives that you see Lottery West really in a good position to support?
I would like to see them support the homelessness.
Yeah.
Any particular reason why you think they're best positioned to support homeless people?
Because it just seems to be, you just seem to hear about it a lot more these days, that, you know, there's a lot of people that are struggling, that are on the streets, and it shouldn't be like that.
Going off what someone said before, they are in a position where they have a kind of responsibility to give back to gambling organisations. At least that's would be something that would make me think of them more positively. If they were supporting those who they also affect.
What is everyone else thinking about that? Lottery West supporting anti-gambling or gambling support?
I thought they already did that.
I only know the gamble responsibly thing that you see.
Yes, but it's never shown on their advertisements, because buying a lottery ticket is not considered gambling, because it's a non-for-profit organisation, and
I'm sure
because
they have it on
it's got
their
its community
website.
grant side of things. Yeah, but you won't see it on any of their television adverts or their social media adverts, not on the same way that it's displayed on betting or you know, PointsBet or anything like that. Not the same constraints.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Ellie?
The thing is that when I buy lotto ticket, I know it's going to a good cause.
So Remo, do you agree that
because that money's being
sorry,
used for, you know.
Sorry, I'm not sure if it's my connection or if maybe your connection is dropping out a little bit. There
You
you go. I
sound
think you're back
fine.
now. So you feel positively on neutral or negative towards Lotterywest supporting anti-gambling? Remo, sorry, you cut out a little bit there.
Oh, yeah, sorry. What do I feel? Well, no, well, I don't support it. No, no.
Are there
You
any
don't
rules
support.
Sorry.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify. You don't support them putting money towards gambling issues?
I think there are other things that they could look at contributing more. I mean, whether you gamble, if you gamble, that's your responsibility. That's how I see it.
What sort of other things do you think they would be better spending their money on?
Like I said, people that are struggling,
Yeah.
the people that have got, homelessness, families that can't provide food on the table for families.
What about you, Ellie? Is there anything you think they'd be best to support?
Yeah, I'm quite similar to Remo. I work in construction and we get quite regularly sort of presented issues. I work for BGC, so we get presented a lot by the government just in the housing crisis. And we hear from our clients pretty much on the daily, families who have worked their whole lives and, done what they can to be in a home, end up literally in tents in people's gardens, struggling to put food on the table because they're waiting for a house to be built. So I think if there's an organisation out there with the power to, and these people might not be homeless on their own account, like it's just something that our country, I think the whole country is facing. So if there's an organisation that could put a relief to that, I think that would be money very well spent for Aussie people.
Yeah.
And if we had to give Lotterywest a set of rules of things that they should, when they should support things, what they should support, what would those rules say? What do you think which rules would give them?
I think it's important that there's a vetting process, a bit like we've sort of mentioned before with their grants, on just making sure that it doesn't go not to greedy, but to people who, that I think that there's a level of needy that should be met, because I feel like, this is my opinion here, but some people in our country, I've seen people manage to get Centrelink money that, sort of take the piss a little bit. So just when it comes to money that's grants to try and do good, just vetting out people who are truly in need. And I'm not sure how you would vet that, but it would take a bit of brainstorming, I suppose, but just sort of looking at the people, making sure people get the bare necessities, shelter, food, and just sort of monitoring that money doesn't go to sort of, it's not supposed to be luxuries, but for comfort and for like basic living needs.
I would say their grant shouldn't go to any group that promotes hate or bigotry in any form.
Any other rules that they should follow?
I mean, I could give you a million. There's so many.
If you had to choose the top 3 that you're thinking, or the top
so
2.
To always act in the best interests of the community, to ensure that funds go to non-for-profit / smaller community groups, and 3, that they would be independently audited. They would be my big ones.
Lacey, what do you think? What sort of rules should they follow?
Pretty much on par with what everyone else has said, yeah. Yeah, just making sure it does go to the minorities and looks at the human needs before they go to anything else.
Yeah, I think one of the things that a grant should do is it should impact the largest amount of people for the money that it's being given into. So, when you're looking at an organization or a community, I don't know, initiative, how many people is that that input actually going to touch? So yeah, in saying that, it can't just be a sort of you tick all the boxes, here's a handout, because that impacts one person. It's got to be organization based, where
Yes, you could go to someone like the Salvos or something like that, and like to put meals on for the homeless people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are there any particular organisations that Lottery West shouldn't support?
I would like to stay away from all the religious, like the churches and their organisations. Keep it out of it.
So salvos are out.
Salvos, Vinnies, all of it. I think there should be a division there.
Yeah, I don't 100% agree with that. I feel like that they're probably like the best people to be getting. Like, if you've got like homeless people or people who are struggling to put food on the table, it's like a comfort thing to be able to go and seek help from them. But if it's audited and you can see what they're spending money on and they can prove that, then there shouldn't be a problem.
Kristen, is there anything that you think Lottery West shouldn't support?
Probably, I reckon the ones that have got other big backings behind them, things that sort of other organisations or things that have got other sources of income as well, the places, but still support the community.
Yeah, I don't think they need to be directing funds towards like private schools and their sporting clubs. And my kids are in private schools. They definitely don't need the additional funding. That should go to public schooling.
Any other rules that we want to add that they should or shouldn't do here? Are you happy with that? Okay. So Lottery West does support a diverse range of community initiatives, and we're going to look into that list in your survey just before and consider whether they're a good fit for Lottery West and how Lottery West can promote them in the community. So I am going to share another task here. We're going to look if the particular grant area or grant type is a perfect fit, a close fit, maybe a stretch fit, or not a fit at all. Next to be loading, so you should be able to see the whiteboard in a second. I do ask that everyone just leave it as is for now, and then we can have a play around in a moment. We can see here, everyone can see that the perfect fit, close fit, stretch, and not a fit at all?
Yep.
Yeah. So the perfect fit, it aligns with Lottery West. It makes sense that they support it. A close fit would be something that makes sense, but maybe it's not perfectly aligned. A stretch fit, they could support it, but it's a little bit of a stretch. And not a fit at all. It would not make sense for Lottery West to support this, and it does not align with Lottery West as a business. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we will consider these few topics one at a time, and as a group we'll decide in which bucket that they fit. So what do we think about grants provided to local and small businesses?
It's a
I think
good
it's a
fit.
close fit.
Yeah, I'd go with that too.
Yeah.
Why's that?
small businesses, especially when they're just getting off the ground, they don't have a great source of income. They're competing with large businesses. They may well improve quality of life within small communities.
I would only
Whatever.
say
Yeah.
I would
I
say a close fit because they're obviously Western Australian and it's important to support them. Not a perfect fit because they are private for-profit entities.
As a group, what do we decide?
A close fit sounds good to me. Yeah.
Mhm.
Tristan, happy with that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So next up, we have grants provided to local governments. What do we think about that? Do we think that's a fit for Lotterywest? A close fit, maybe a stretch fit?
Not a fit for me.
For local government,
Mhm.
Yeah, not a fit.
Yeah,
I
not
think
a
it
fit.
depends on what the grant's for, I suppose.
I'd say
Yeah.
a stretch fit, maybe.
I think they get enough money out of us for rates.
Yeah, I agree. Not a
Yeah.
fit at all. Purely based on what, the amount of rates that we pay.
Mm,
And what we get out of it.
exactly.
well,
More
it
like the
depends.
local governments need to budget better rather than expect a grant.
Yeah.
I think we do need to think a little bit around criteria, because when the local government goes to, say, build a playground in
Yeah,
our
I
area,
was thinking that too.
okay, and children's playground, it's maybe some of the equipment is going to be budgeted for within the local government's capacity, and maybe that could be improved by a Lotterywest grant. And
Yeah, that's why I thought a
seeing that
stretch
sort
fit.
of improvement, again, we're looking for improvements within our communities. Partnering with local government, I think, is part and parcel of that.
Okay, so some feel like it's not a stretch at all, and some feel that it's not a fit at all. Some feel that it's a stretch fit. But
Yep.
we have to decide together where we think it sits. Maybe we can do a vote. Who thinks
Okay.
it's a stretch fit?
Me.
Yeah.
Just so
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. And not a fit at all?
Me.
Okay. Unfortunately, majority rules here. But maybe this is closer to being not a fit than more on the right-hand side there. All right, what about grants provided to not-for-profits in the eastern states?
Nope.
I initially thought absolutely not. And the only thing that made me waver is if there was something terrible that happened again, like massive bushfires or drought or flood, would it make sense to have some money aside that WA could help in that way through Lotterywest? It's the only thing that made me hesitate. Otherwise, I was like, absolutely not. It makes no sense.
Yeah, look, I think there's money to go around. I think there's plenty of money. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd probably a close fit for that one.
I think that we need to remember that there's other people in other states, and how many millions are there in the eastern states compared to the western states?
Mm.
The fact is that, lotteries and what other sources of income are available to the eastern states are there already. I think
I'm
that
aware of
we
that.
need
I'm
to
also
be careful about, maintaining that for WA community.
But Lottery West is Australia wide, but
You can purchase them Australia-wide, the tickets.
exactly, yeah. So
It
I
is,
think-
so they do contribute, other people contribute. Also, I think there's a sense of when things happen and people want to step up, they look towards associations like Lottery West to say, what are you doing to help this? Do you know what I mean? It would be, yeah, that's, I don't know. I'm in two minds about this one.
Feels like a bit of a tricky one to place, maybe.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ellie, thoughts?
Very in the middle. Because on one hand, we're a big state with a lot less funds, I suppose, as opposed to over east. But it's very weird. It's much like my workplace. We try to remember that we are a country as a whole and we can all be one team. It's not always
Yeah.
about like we're in Australia. Like I feel like Australians are very proud to be Australian and we all fall under the same, beautiful flag. Like sometimes we become very us and them, but I think someone mentioned like there's a lot of money there to go around. And if it's going to, and they're using these systems to vet out the correct things, and I actually, probably lean more towards, I don't see why that would be an issue if it's going towards good things.
Okay. So do we think it's a stretch? It doesn't sound like a perfect fit. Is it a stretch, or not a fit at all?
Need a middle option.
Mhm.
I
We
would
have
probably
to
put it
choose
under
one.
stretch, I think.
Yeah, I'd go
Um,
stretch.
I'd
I
go
would
Yeah.
say
stretch.
Stretch? Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. And I just wanted to ask as well, Nissy, you mentioned about bushfire relief. How does everyone feel about Lottery West supporting like natural disasters like that?
All for it.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
perfect fit.
Yeah.
That would be a perfect fit.
Mm.
Okay. Okay, we have one more of these little ones. So what about grants provided to WA not-for-profit organisations?
Perfect fit.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Why is it a perfect fit?
Well, the vetting part of the vetting process is still making sure that it's in the best interest of the community, and it's going to essentially give you bang for your buck. Touch as many people as possible through the application of that money. So when we're looking at who it is, hopefully, that's going to tick all the boxes. I mean,
Okay, everyone happy with a perfect fit for that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have specific areas that Lottery West support. So this first one is the theme of connected cultural experiences. So we have a few different examples here, but it's really about bringing people together through the arts, heritage, and cultural activities. So some of these examples: Fringe Festival, Perth Festival, Community Arts Network, Aboriginal Arts Centre, Reconciliation, etc. Where do we think this fits with Lottery West?
perfect fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's about community, about bringing
Mm.
community together, and it's a question over, a lot of these things, would they happen if you didn't have that source of income and that source of financing, or
think
would it
that
just
bring a lot
simply
of joy to people.
not be as effective?
Remo, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it would be a perfect fit. It's all about the community, so yeah,
Yeah.
that would suit me. Perfect fit.
Yeah.
Everyone happy with perfect fit for that one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So our next one is drug and alcohol prevention. That's treatment services for people experiencing problems with alcohol and drug use. So an example being Next Step Drug and Alcohol Services.
Mm,
Tristan, what do you think? Do you think that
What?
fits with Lottery West?
It's probably somewhere in the middle. I wouldn't say perfect fit.
Yeah, I was going to say a close
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah.
I think the question comes up, who should the responsibility really lie with?
Mm.
But
You
then
know,
it's
when it
something that
comes to
does
those
affect
sorts of
the
things.
community.
It does, indeed. When we're talking about people's health,
Hmm.
you'd hope that, you know, the government steps in and takes responsibility for that.
Yeah.
But then there are going to be extra and very explicit services where you might not get full funding for that area. You know, services where you know, ex-prostitutes basically making their way back from maybe, you know, drug addiction, where, you know, you've got all these multiple services within one agency, and they're providing a house for them to stay at and, you know, recover. You'd imagine some of it's going to be funded, and then some of it's going to come from other sources. So, yeah.
So do we think this one's a close fit or a stretch fit?
Close fit.
Close fit.
Close,
Oh,
yeah.
that's a close fit. Yeah.
Close?
Yeah.
Yep.
It would have to be heavily vetted.
Okay. It's important to have some sort of processes in place to ensure that it's the right type of program.
Yes.
Okay. What about this one? This one's Smart Innovative Society. So really about optimizing our community's talent and capability. Things like Space Cubed, which is a co-working space, really trying to keep talent in WA Social Enterprise Council and Leadership WA. Do we think that's a close fit? It works, aligns with Lottery West, maybe a perfect fit, stretch fit, not a fit at all?
I think
What do
it's
we think?
awesome. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Furthering our state's children's future, basically providing opportunities where there might not be opportunity for you know, these kids to engage in programs.
Lacey, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I reckon it's a perfect fit too, because I mean that'll go into like science programs and stuff like that, and like, yeah, like different areas where if the children obviously as well, that they can giving the money to become better people as well.
Mhm.
It looks good for the community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can
everyone
imagine it.
else?
I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I'll just go with what everyone else is thinking.
What makes you unsure?
Just, I'm not particularly aware of any of these, Space Cubed or the Social Enterprise Council. Are they targeted at adults or children?
I think it can be a range.
Okay, then yeah, I would say a close fit to a perfect fit.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, for instance, my daughter went to and I'm pretty sure this probably have been financed by UWA, but, you know, went to a maths and psychology extension program, and then she had the opportunity to continue in that. Now, we paid a bit for that, but it was significantly subsidized for by UWA. Now, if there were other programs that gave students the opportunity, maybe from regional WA, you know, it's not easy for students from regional WA to go to a program in Perth and have accommodation and have, you know, all this offered to them. And there's a cost. So, you know, having that done at a reasonable price because of subsidization by people like Lottery West, that'd be, yeah.
Okay.
I see a lot of
So-
people benefiting from it.
Are we all happy with a perfect fit? Is that?
Yep.
Or a close
Yeah.
fit?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
What about protected sustainable ecosystems? So we do have to move on from this task in a few minutes. So we'll try to get through these last few a little bit quicker. So supporting the community, our community to sustain and enhance our unique species and environments. So examples of this are like supporting Busselton Jetty, underwater sculptures, BirdLife and Conservation Council. Do we think this would be a perfect fit, close fit, or not a fit for Lottery West?
I'd say
It's a perfect
perfect.
fit.
Perfect.
Perfect. Tristan, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon perfect.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, we'll put this one over here. What about anti-gambling? So we spoke a little bit about that before, providing support and assistance to regain control over gambling. An example of that would be like Gambling Help WA.
I think they have a direct responsibility.
That's what I
honestly.
think.
It's
Yeah.
like part and parcel. If you're going to provide the possibility that you are contributing to the problem, then you should be putting money directly back into that. And that's not about stopping people from buying a lottery ticket.
No,
That's
it's the
about
people that need
stopping
help.
it becoming an issue for people and causing harm.
Okay.
Yeah,
What do
and
we
I think
all-
we expect every other company / organization to someone want to help me here. I've got 6:30
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
We expect, so if we're going to hold them to the same standard, you should be
Yeah.
providing help to those that you affect in the most negative way.
Mm.
Yeah.
So perfect or close?
Yeah,
I think it's a
perfect.
perfect fit.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay. Got one more here. So what about inclusive, thriving community? So that's supporting the diversity of Western Australians to actively engage in community life. So things like Ronald McDonald, Home Away from Home, Anglicare, Good Sammy's, Men's Shed, and other things. Do we think this is a good fit? Not so much of a fit for Lottery West. Do we think it's aligned?
Perfect fit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say perfect because of the Ronald McDonald and Men's Shed and stuff. I know I said other things about the churches before, but yeah, it's more important. I think it's perfect with that other stuff.
Okay. Great, thanks everyone. So now what we're going to do is you should be able to access one of these stars, and we need to put one star. If you click on that little cursor, the triangle on the left-hand side, we'll pick up one star, one pink and one blue, and place it on the area of support you think is most important for Lottery West to support. So, for example, I think connected cultural experiences is really important. They should prioritise that. And, for example, grants provided to local and small businesses. If everyone just wants to have a go at that, if you need help moving your star, let me know and I can move it for you.
Oh, someone's star is big.
Yep, that was me. Sorry. Is anyone having trouble placing their star?
Mm.
Yeah, how do you do it again? Sorry.
You should be able to click on the little cursor which says select on the left-hand side, and it should be a drag and drop kind of thing.
Okay. Right. So you have to click the little arrow on the left-hand side with your hand
Over,
and then pick up the star. All right.
Oh, well, I've
Yep.
just made my
There
star
we go.
small.
Mm.
Thank you.
Does anyone need a hand?
No.
Oh, I don't know where that went.
Just grab another one.
Oh, I just made it small now, for God's sake. Note to self, don't do it on your phone.
So we think so far everyone feels that the inclusive, thriving community is the most important for Lotterywest to support.
Yeah.
Anyone want to just mention quickly before we move on why they chose that one as their number one?
I think that, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you're right.
I think that when we think about inclusive, thriving community, we look to the edges of community and we try and bring people in. We look to those that would benefit the most from contribution. So, you know, I'd like to think that we're still a community that looks to take, I suppose, money from the rich and give it to the poor. You know, whilst we might, you know, feel that that's been lost, I hope that in the general community we still have that. So.
Oh, thank you. Is there anyone that wasn't able to place their star? I think we're missing a blue one.
It's probably me.
Yeah, which one would you like me to pop it on, Tristan?
With the rest of them.
With the rest, okay. So that one is the WA not-for-profit. You're happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, thank you, everyone. So now we're going to focus on how grants organisations promote their support in the community. So are there any organisations that you can recall promoting their work, supporting the community? Anything that pops into your head?
Other than Lotterywest?
Other than any organisation, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen Cube doing yeah, promotions and sports days and that sort of thing, and yeah.
Rima, were you going to say something?
Yeah, the one that I have in mind is you know, the MSWA. You know, how the tickets, you buy the ticket for the house, you know, the prizes that they have.
HBF is another one.
Ellie, any that you can think of?
Oh gosh. Look, for me, probably solo feel, but it's guide dogs. They have heaps of stuff that's always like popped up around me.
Anything specific that you remember?
At the moment for me, I'm gearing up for the fundraiser I do every year, so that's called Paugust. So that's essentially a little fundraiser that's run every year to help raise funds for guide dogs for the community.
Is there any organisation that we've seen promoting their work that they do and you thought that is great? They're doing a really good job at promoting that?
RAC always keep me very updated with what they're doing in the community through monthly like member magazines and email blasts, things like that. It's like very easy to see how they impact the community and what they're doing.
Anyone else think that have seen some good things in organisations promoting their support?
I'm always getting emails from Lotterywest. Don't know if anyone else gets them, but yeah.
No, I never do.
What sort of things in the email?
Oh, that's just showing like how to get different grants and like what they're offering and different options that are available and what they're putting the money towards and who they've supported, and yeah. It's at least once a week. It's annoying.
Has anyone seen any promotion that they thought was done poorly or they didn't like?
I'll speak up. I suppose what irritates me sometimes, this is just me, when I see these big, like, I just see them as sort of money giants like Rio and that, and they go, oh, we've done this little thing, we've put 1 million towards this. And I think, like, really, Rio, you make millions and you've just put 1 million towards, this small thing.
Where do you see that sort of thing?
Often in like they're weird ones too. They'll be like bus sides ads, like bus stop shelter sides, or it's like, God, I think of it when I go to the city and I just like pick up on the advertising. But I think for me it's the monetary value that these big companies put on things. So they'll say what they've done and say they've put, this amount, and while it might sound a lot when I feel like every Aussie looks at these big mining giants and knows we're talking big money. It kind of just ends up making me feel a bit ick, like, really, that's all you did?
Is there anything else that irritates anyone else? Nothing that comes to mind?
No.
Good. Okay, so we will go on to the next task now. Again, just going to share my screen. Okay, and we will do this emotions wheel again. Are there any of these feelings, emotions that you feel when you see Lotterywest branding?
Grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Optimistic.
Sorry?
Optimistic.
Optimistic?
Hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
Confident.
Mm-hmm.
Trusting.
From a community-based organisation, encouraged, like from the Scout side, it's encouraged so we can get the funding to get youth to do more things.
Yeah. Empowered again.
Yeah.
No. Valued.
Valued. Do you feel valued?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know that what you put your time and energy into in improving your local community is seen as worthwhile, worth investing into. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And does the branding affect your perception of an event or community initiative? So if you see Lotterywest branding at a certain event or it helped a certain initiative,
Okay.
does that impact your perception of the brand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what ways?
I would think it's more legitimate because they've vetted them.
To be completely honest,
if they've seen it as a worthwhile cause, I have a lot of trust in them as an organisation to identify that.
I was going to say,
you're going to say something?
Yeah, if you're looking at just the branding, it's just the label itself. In the past, I wouldn't have really known much about it, but going into the detail we've done today, like, yeah, it would be a bit more warmer seeing it and be more respectful for the company that's using it or the events.
Mm-hmm. And what about seeing Lotterywest branding against other organisations from other sectors like mining or government? How do we feel about that? Do we feel positive, neutral, negative when we see Lotterywest branding next to mining companies?
They do need to be careful, because, as you say, there are some negative connotations that lie with certain companies, and you wouldn't want that brand tainted by others. I mean, just to give you an example, I had a run-in with Complete Home Filtration as a company. Personally, I think they're a terrible company that feeds off of the fears of elderly people, particularly, and charges them an exorbitant amount for a home filtration system. That aside, they're right alongside RAC in their advertising. So
there are some
RAC's,
brands that we feel if Lottery West was next to, that it would impact your perception.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say which ones they shouldn't be next to, but it's a consideration or a concern that they've got to have.
What about if you saw Lottery West, someone like a government official promoting a Lottery West grant or awarding a grant? How would we feel about that?
Indifferent.
I don't know. That's pushing boundaries. You got politics there. So here's one particular side of politics saying, yeah, you know, it's great to see Lottery West contributing to this, but then you have it going the other direction as well. You have the influence of Lottery West rubbing off on them. So, you know, that's almost promotion of politics via something that should really be neutral.
What does the rest of the group think?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm indifferent to it. If you've got like a local government person presenting a grant, it really wouldn't affect how I think about Lottery West at all.
Remo? It's frozen there. All right, we're going to move on to the last little section.
You know,
oh,
you
sorry.
know what you're going to get with Lottery West. You know their background, so you know.
Continue. Sorry, I cut you off a little bit. I think we have a lag here. Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to show you a few examples of Lottery West branding that's showing their involvement in some of these events and situations in the WA community. So we'll go through them at first, and then, sorry, just, here we go. We'll go through them one by one, and then we have a bit of a survey to see which ones you like and dislike. So starting off, Lottery West promotes their branding at events such as Fringe World and Boorloo Heritage Festival. So we can see there's some umbrellas here, some logos on the signage, bean bags. Here we have a logo, this carpet and the blue tent. A few more examples of this co-branding. So I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a logo here on this signage. We have the light at the bottom here, the little Lottery West pinball kind of winner ball, and then the archway with the Lottery West branding. Looking at the temporary signage, so this little A-frame and this sign across here. More permanent signage, so all right. So these plaques and signs at certain parks and buildings, presenting grants, so grant recipients receiving grants from stakeholders, maybe government officials, uniforms and infrastructure, so we can see the Lottery West brand here, and then on the uniform within sponsored organisations, so again, the Lottery West logo, and on vehicles, so we can see it a few places here. So what I'll do is I'll get you to do the survey for me, and again I'll drop that into the chat so that we can all, if you need to, you can click on that link. And just to rate your favourite to your least favourite, so your most favourite will be number 1, and your least favorite will be number 7. And then why that is your most or least favorite.
Mm.
Is everyone doing okay accessing that one?
Yep.
So when we're talking about favorite or least favorite, are we talking about what we think is most effective?
I think that's the ones that you like the most or don't like the most.
Okay.
I'll just pop this up here for you so you get a bit of a reminder of which one's which. If you need any help, just let me know. Can even send me a message in the chat. How's everyone going with that one? Do we need another minute or so?
Yeah.
A little bit longer.
I'm good.
All good? All right. So we'll just go through each of these exhibits and just want to understand what your impression of these sorts of branding or this promotion is. Do
You
we
mean how we
like it?
feel
Do we
about it?
dislike it? Yeah. Is there anything that you think they've done well or maybe not so well?
Yeah, I think providing like bean bags and spaces for kids to sit is really good. That makes me feel positive about them.
Tristan, what do you think about these ones?
I think it sort of aligns with what you'd expect from Lottery West type things. You'd expect like the beanbags and that sort of stuff, and getting communities together.
Mhm.
It's good brand exposure. It's pretty broad. You can have a lot of people that are going to be exposed to the brand, and people will see where the money has come from for that particular event. Yeah.
What about the next kind of co-branding examples? What do we think about these? Do we like them, dislike them? Do we think they've done well or not so well?
I quite like it. It seems effective and it stands out. And it's
What
also giving
stands out in particular?
Just the whole branding and the fact that it shows what it's gone to and the whole bringing the community together.
I like the light. That's really eye-catching.
Yeah.
And that I would remember. Not so much the one on the right.
It's very singular in focus. So this is not spelling out cooperation between itself and other brands or local government or anything like that. It's squarely taking responsibility and credit to Lottery West.
Do you like that or dislike it, or?
I think the brand stands alone well. It doesn't need anybody else to carry it. We trust it. And
Yeah, the lights seem to come out a bit more. It's a bit more attractive. Catches my eye anyway.
Okay. What about these temporary signage? What do we think about these?
a little rough.
Which one is rough? Or
Oh,
both?
both. Yeah.
I don't fully understand the purpose apart from advertising.
So overall, not really a big fan of this kind of temporary signage?
No.
No.
Okay. What about more permanent signage at community locations?
Yeah.
I quite like it.
Yeah.
That's good. It's important
Why is it important?
because you got to know where your funding comes from, like, so people can look back later on and go, "Oh, that's who funded this playground," and not just because if you didn't have the funding there, they'd say, "Oh, the local government or whatever has funded or like false." Your recognition will go somewhere else. But if they've got their signs and saying we funded it, well, everyone knows where it's come from.
Yeah, absolutely.
And being a permanent signage, it's always going to be there anyway, so it's not going to go anywhere. So people are going to see that every day.
What about grant certificate presentations? What do we think about this?
Dumb. It's a waste of time.
So what did you say, Kim?
Said it was dumb.
Dumb. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I heard that right. Okay.
I think it's a waste of time.
It depends. While it is a momentary thing, it depends who's in the room. If people are encouraged to follow suit, then it's good. You know, if it's part of a bigger thing, you know, great. If it's just a, you know, tokenistic sort of presentation, then no. I mean,
To me, it's like, is this worth the time or the money? What's the benefit of this? It's not really worthwhile. Not the actual grant, just the ceremony of a government official presenting the grant.
it also depends which way you're wanting it to go. I mean, are you trying to provide the companies with a connection with Lottery West? Are you trying to create a connection between the companies, like the Lottery West and the companies, and companies and Lottery West? So is Lottery West trying to improve its branding by connecting with certain initiatives and certain community groups, and to be seen as a provider of these, you know, and if that goes into the news, if that goes into the, you know, social media, then, you know, it's beneficial for them.
We just have a few minutes left, so we'll move on. What about the uniforms and infrastructure? How do we feel about this sort of branding for Lottery West?
Love this.
Like it.
Yeah, positive.
Yep. It's
What
the
is it
same
that
as the
we like
signage.
about this?
It's a physical representation of the good that they do in the community. a
Yeah.
reminder to people what they do, and obviously an opportunity if people might see this and identify, hey, like my organization might be able to apply for a grant too. I think it's good all around.
What do we think about having the Lottery West branding on children's uniforms?
I don't have an issue with that. Use those little billboards. Go, go, go.
Everyone
That's a
else?
joke, but I don't have a problem coming from like a parent perspective with it at all.
Mhm.
I'd prefer they have Lottery West as opposed to other companies.
I mean, I can only speak from my experience. I know my principal. As a teacher, my principal wouldn't have a bar of it.
But what do
But
we think? What is our opinions?
my opinion, you're going to have people that are against it, people that are for it, but I'd be fine. Again, it's where the money comes from. So if you're going to ask for the money from Lottery West, then you should be prepared to have their name and symbol on whatever they've provided.
Okay. So generally we feel that it's okay to have it on everyone feels it's okay to have it on the kids' uniform?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What about in sponsored organizations? We like it, we
Yep.
don't like it, we think it's
Yep.
good. What do we
No,
like?
that's good.
Yeah.
It's good that they're promoting what they're doing.
This is our second last one, guys. If we can get through this, we're almost done. So any more on this one?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's like the permanent signage. It's showing where the money's going back into.
I mean, I know what you're trying to do. I mean, number one with the kids' uniforms. Okay, the kids aren't giving any permission for themselves to be used as billboards to advertise Lottery West. So some people could have a bit of an issue with that. For me, I'm utilizing this business. Okay, I didn't choose to be advertised, Lottery West when I walked into my local whatever. I suppose it's about choice to have that exposure or not.
Okay, and so within sponsored organizations, do we feel like this is appropriate for Lottery West to show their branding in these ways?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And this is the last one. What about on the vehicles? What do we think about these? Is it appropriate?
Yeah.
Yeah. We like it, we dislike it. Or
I'm
we
not a
feel
big fan of
indifferent?
it.
Sorry, Lacey?
I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know. It seems a bit tacky to me, but that's just my personal opinion.
What if
It
their
is a-
grants have given these places the opportunity to buy that vehicle though?
Yeah.
Is it okay to have their signage on that then?
And it's a good way to know how these agencies are supported.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. I know this can be a bit of a difficult conversation or difficult topic. So that is all the questions that I have for you today. Is there anything else you want to share? Any tips or things you want to say to Lottery West about their branding or community events?
Send me the winning lotto numbers, please.
Keep buying lotto tickets. It's going to a good cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Maybe bring a few more down south, the events down south.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. and we will send out those incentives for your time.
Thank you.
Very much. Have a good night.
Thank
You
you.
too,
Bye.
bye.
Nice to meet you all. Take care. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.